Greetings of peace to my brothers and sisters. Welcome to this celebration of the 21st of June, the International Yoga Day. And so today we're going to talk about spiritual vaccine. And I think you all know that the word yoga derives from a spiritual language, Sanskrit, which simply means join, union, or connect, or communicate. And so when we talk about spiritual vaccine, what has that got to do with yoga? And first of all, I would like to tell you that it's for good health. Vaccines are protecting us from the negative force. I'm Sister Pratibha from Africa, born in Zambia, partly brought up in Zimbabwe, then Rhodesia, and living in Kenya. I am practicing meditation, Raja Yoga, since I was in high school 47 years ago, and I've been based in Nairobi, the regional headquarters of Brahma Kumaris for the African continent, based in Nairobi since last 44 years. I really enjoy not only my life, but serving humanity. Serving humanity on a different level, and that's spiritual level. So there are many different level of services, and this is something very subtle and very effective. Whether we have poverty problems, environment issues, population issues, crime, all these pandemics, relationships, whatever it is. I personally feel that meditation is the root cause to treat any situation in the world, society, and in personal life. And so I once again welcome you, hearty welcome, to this session, the spiritual vaccine, which we are, in respect to the International Yoga Day, celebrating it, understanding it, and practicing it. So let's go back to our vaccines. Nowadays we hear this a lot, isn't it? COVID-19 pandemic has brought an international language, but also a very different language, which we didn't use quite often. And so we have started using not only the language, but even the lifestyle. Masking up wherever we go, we have to remind ourselves, let's mask. And then social distancing, sanitizing, and disinfecting. This is the main thing which is everywhere, constantly a reminder. And so let us not only remind ourselves in this limited manner, but go a little bit beyond and talk about it in a different connection, which will not only help me physically, but also help me spiritually. And so if we follow this regulations of COVID-19, then we will be safe, and also our immunity will be effective. So it says, increase your immunity system. And you wonder, how do I increase my immunity system? By eating in a particular pattern, or eating particular things, or how do I do it? So in this session, we're going to talk about spiritual vaccine, and of course, good health for the body and the mind. When we talk about vaccine, I remember when we were young, we used to talk about smallpox and flu, and of course, cholera and yellow fever, things like that. But just right in front of us, all that started getting sorted out, and we no more need all this, vaccines to travel. And then, of course, polio came in. That also was oral vaccine. And now that is also wiped out. Everything has been sorted out on a medical level. And so our travel limitations has been, quite eased now. But since last a year and a half, COVID-19 pandemic has taken over the whole world. And in that, not only, taking care of it on this level, physical level, but I think it's affecting people's mind also. Because there is so much reservations, there is so much fear and limitations. And so the minds have been affected much more than the bodies. And it is said, a healthy mind gives you a healthy body. And so where do I start? Do I start outward, taking care of myself, or do I start inward, taking care of myself? And I would suggest outward is definitely needed. What I just mentioned earlier, and you all know, we keep on hearing about it. But, people talk about COVID test, the PCRs, these are all quite new language to mankind. Then we talk about COVID vaccines, and there are so many different types. We're just getting knowledgeable day by day. But you cannot travel without this COVID test and the result negative, or the vaccines. Let us talk about the spiritual side. I'd rather take care of myself inwardly or introvertly. And so here I am using the word myself, or me and my. And what is that, me and my? So in a very regular language, in our day-to-day language, when we talk about ourselves, what do we say? That I hand is aching, or my hand is aching. My head is aching, or I head is aching. So we'll say my. So which is that authority which talks about I and my? So we have two different identities. One is the human side, and the other is the being side. One is physical, and the other is metaphysical. One is physical, and one is spiritual. So I is the spiritual side, and mine is the physical side, limited side, the body side. The body is consisting of the chemicals, particles, flesh and blood. That's my one physical identity. And then the spiritual identity is I'm not this physical body of chemicals and particles, but I am a spiritual being, which is much, much stronger, powerful, and subtle. You cannot see this being with this gross eyes. We need the mind's eye, the spiritual eye, or I would even say the third eye of wisdom. And so a lot of people are not aware of that who am I? I am not this physical body of chemicals and particles. This is just my body, my instrument. I, the being, work through it. I, the being, perform actions through it. And so it's my instrument. So in our day-to-day life, we will say, I'm not this house, I'm not this car, it is my car, my house. So we have two things here. One is the object, and the other one is the owner. So this body is my object or my instrument, my eyes, my ears, hands, legs, but I am a being, a divine light. I'm just a point of light, but very, very powerful. And it actually works through this physical body of chemicals and particles, which is so gross and very limited. The body has its limitations of power, time, health, and happiness. Whereas I, the soul, has innate values. And these innate values are the quality of the being, the soul. And we all had the same sets of qualities and virtues in us. But slowly and slowly, some used it and recharged, and some used it and left it there. So what has happened is that the soul's qualities are reducing, it's not recharging. And when it's not recharging, then naturally our immune system, the spiritual immune system, starts reducing. The strength in the soul starts reducing. And so I need to once again nourish it. And how do I nourish the soul? Body, you understood. We drink water and we don't get dehydrated. We take sunlight. We eat all the food which has values, food values, and we have a good night's sleep. And all this helps me to nourish the body. But what about the soul? Have I ever looked at the nourishment of the soul? That is, I, the being. And so what do I need to do? So ever since I have taken birth in this world and using this body, I, the being, is only extrovert. I have heard others, I've talked to others, I've looked at others and I've looked at the body, but I have always forgotten I need to also look within. I need to listen to myself. I need to talk to myself and appreciate the self, not even mine, but I, the self. Because we're so used to talking about my, we always forget I. And so if you go back to the Oxford Dictionary and look up the meaning of I, where we use it quite often, it is said ego. I is ego. But really, I is not ego. I is self-respect. Why it has been translated as ego is because I am considering this body to me I. I am considering this body to be me. And so anything which the body owns, that is the profession, the color, nationality, gender, wealth, property, whatever the body owns, I think it's mine. But if this body is not mine, then how can those possessions be mine? It is just instruments. Well, wealth is instrument. My body is instrument. My name is instrument. So I'm just using this namesake. But otherwise, what belongs to me is I, the being, consist of the mind, the intellect, and the tendencies, personality traits. And so who am I? I am a point of light. What are my qualities? I am peaceful, blissful, knowledgeful, pure, happy, and healthy. What is my identity? A point of light, just a point of light. And that subtle energy is I. I am peaceful. And so I've lost my peace in this world. I'm happy, and we've lost our happiness in this world. We are discontent. And so what has happened is all this illnesses of negativity has grabbed me. Everything starts from the mind. If I'm unhappy, it's the mind. And then it goes out in a form of relationship, health, and things around me. If I'm peaceful, then things around me are going to be very peaceful. But if it is peaceless, it starts from the mind. And what happens is that because we are in our limitations, when you're unhappy, when you're peaceless, you're negative, you're depressed, we always look for some reason why I'm like that. And what is that reason? It's always somebody else or something. It's never me. So we start having a blame game. I am unhappy because of my boss, or unhappy because of my parents, or I'm unhappy because of the wife or the husband. So we actually tilt towards relationships, condition of the world, and work and profession. And so we're going outward, trying to blame other people, and then we think, I am not responsible for that. So what do we start doing? When you're not happy with your boss, you want to change your job. If you're not happy with your neighborhood, you want to change the neighborhood. If you think the country's condition is not very good, you want to leave that country and go somewhere else. So what are we doing? We are escaping. We are running away from the situation. But who created that situation? And that's I. It is me who is responsible to create that situation. How am I going to run away from my own self? And so rather than changing places and people and relationship and jobs, let us take that responsibility. Whatever is happening is I. I am responsible. And so if I run away, to go just for growth, it's fine. If you feel I'm very happy with my job, but I think I need to grow, then that's fine. If you feel, no, I don't want to be in this city now, I want to move to another country or city or a neighborhood, that's fine. So what comes in between? What is the denominator? And that is my attitude. If I run away attitude, then that's going to follow me. Wherever you go, it's going to follow. And so you can't sort it out. But if my attitude is positive, that I just want to grow, I want to experience, and that would help me to create such situations that would help me to grow. And growth is nourishment. So physically also, if the body grows, that means you're nourished. But if I do not grow, then there is something wrong with the physical body also. And so here we're talking about the spiritual side. So I, the being, is responsible what I attract. If I have positive attitude, then of course I'm only going to attract things around me which are positive. And if I have negative attitude, then I am going to, attract negative things, negative people, negative situations, circumstances, all this negative. And so it is in my hands, but not this hands. I can't control anything with this limited hands. It is actually the mind's eye, or the mind itself. Because when I discipline, I don't need to control the mind. I need to discipline the mind. And when I discipline the mind, then my mind will think what it wants to think and not think what it does not want to think. And so mind is like a little baby. And that's where meditation helps me. So for my whole spiritual immune system, I need to take care of my mind. I need to start with my mind and begin within. The mind is within. So I start within. So we will be later on going through a little exercise of the mind, We call that reflection, or we can even call that meditation. But in meditation, then there are stages and all that, because one is education. And when we go to school, that's where we get the education, but then we can grow and go through different stages. So meditation also is not simply what we're going to do, but we can grow in there also and achieve a lot through that. That's where the spiritual immune system comes in. But the method which we use here for meditation is Raja Yoga meditation. Like how I just mentioned about, Sanskrit being the spiritual language, and yoga means yog, means jog, to connect, to join. Raja means master. Raja means sovereign, and Raja means king. So I will become the king of myself. I'll be the master of myself. I will sovereign my life. So I will discipline. That's king, ruling power. Yoga is jog, means to join, connect, have union or connection. It's like one side to connect with the other. So yoga means self's union with the self. And you wonder, how do you do that? Self union with the self. And so I, the soul, which is situated in the center of the forehead here, like the third eye, connects with my inner self, not outer self. Outer self, we've been connected very long time. I'm short, I'm fat, I'm tall, I'm thin, I'm fair, I'm dark. I'm connected to that identity, which hasn't helped me much. It's created a lot of barriers. But when I connect with my inner self, I actually first create harmony between my mind and intellect and the heart. So mind is to think and intellect is to judge. So it's like mind thinking means logic, and my heart is emotions. So there is a harmony between logic and emotions. Some places I need to use logic, I can't use emotions. But in some places I need to use emotions. And so what has happened is that human beings, mankind, I myself, has been torn apart two different worlds. Yeah? Let's take an example. You want to be with your loved ones, but your bread is in another part of the world. Your earning is somewhere else. And your emotions tells you you want to be with your loved ones. So you're torn apart. Yeah? Your loved ones are in the other part of the world, your family, your parents, your wife, your husband, children, but you're working in the other side of the world. And so there's a huge distance, and that creates emotional disturbance. And similarly, logic tells me because your bread is here, you have to put your heart and your mind into that work. So what happens is that your mind is somewhere else, your heart is somewhere else, and we are torn apart. And that's where in that space the stress comes in. When the stress comes in, I become very tired of life. Sometimes stress creates, disturbance of the mind and the body. And it is said, through stress, the body doesn't relate to us. It creates illnesses, problems, lack of immune system. And so I need to sort out my stress. Stress can take us into a negative world. It can give you mental breakdowns, depression, a lot of things. And so I do not want to create that space, which is vacuum, which the stress will take over. But I need to keep that harmony. So meditation helps me to connect with my own inner self, self's union with the self. And so I, the being, is creating that harmony between the heart, that is emotions, and the mind, which is logic. And there is so much harmony that there is an understanding where I need to use my emotions and where I need to use my logic. And so there is a lot of cooperation, there is harmony, there is unity within myself. When I have a clash between my emotions and logic, my mind and my heart, that's when it goes outward in the same pattern. And so I need to sort my inner self out. Raja Yoga helps me to first create that self's unity or self's harmony with the self. Once I've done that, there is a balance in the mind. There is calmness in the mind. I become peaceful and I unite with my own self, and that is spiritual immune system. Then I connect with the Almighty. Whoever you think is logic to you, but here we talk about God being Supreme Soul. Supreme means the highest of all the souls. Supreme means the only one. We don't have a couple of them. And Supreme means the ultimate. So God is one. God is the Almighty Authority. And it's a Supreme Soul. God is Supreme Soul. It's not even it. But that Supreme Soul means ocean. When I just mentioned about the soul being loveful, peaceful, blissful, knowledgeful, God the Supreme is ocean of love, ocean of peace, ocean of knowledge. Ocean is unlimited. Ocean has the depth and can share with everyone. So God the Supreme, incorporeal, again light, point of light, but ocean of all the attributes. And so then I have union with God the Supreme. We even call Baba. Baba simply means the Father, the Creator. And so He doesn't sit and create a soul, because soul is immortal, imperishable. But He creates the goodness, within the soul by connecting to God. And so when I connect to God, the ocean of all the attributes, I start recharging myself. I start filling myself up. And so there's no space there. Remember the empty space where negativity can come in, but I am full. I'm full of love, full of happiness, full of knowledge, full of purity. And so that is recharging from the powerhouse. And I call that spiritual vaccine. Every day I need to take this vaccine early in the morning or end the day with it. And it will keep on recharging me. And when it keeps on recharging me, I have a current which regularly comes into me. And so in that way, what will happen is I will be full. When I'm full, there is no space for negativity. So what is negativity? It's the germs, the diseases, the immune system is very low. But this spiritual vaccine, that is Raja Yoga meditation, I need to take a shot every day. In the world, maybe it's every 6 months. In fact, when I went for my COVID vaccine, I asked, how long does it stay? And he said lifetime. I don't know how it works, but anyway, the spiritual vaccine we need to take every day. In fact, even morning and night. Why? Because the world has become so negative. Please don't take my statement literally, because there are a lot of people which are positive also in this vast, negative world. But I'm talking about the majority, what is happening in the world in a majority level. And so many people are lonely, unhappy, poor, The rich are the rich and the poor are the poor. So many are unhealthy, so you can see the other side of the world also. Maybe you might be very happy in your four walls, but I think nowadays people are not even happy in their four walls because COVID has locked us up and people are getting very uneasy and unhappy and depressed because they want to go out. And so we human beings are used to balanced, not extreme happiness and not extreme sorrow, not extreme wealth and not extreme poverty, not extreme cold and not extreme hot. So we human beings are so used to balance, we're made with balance. But at the moment, in this day and age, we've lost the balance. We've lost the balance. Those who are poor are so poor, they don't know what to eat tomorrow. They're worrying about tomorrow. Those who are wealthy are so wealthy that they're worrying where to keep their wealth. They're scared of that. And then we have families where children don't have parents sometimes and parents don't have children. Yeah? And so it's like an imbalanced society, I would say. And similarly, some are literally lonely and some have a lot of company, but they're tired of that crowd. So nothing is bad in this world. Weather pattern, family pattern, economical pattern, political pattern, nothing is bad. It only becomes ugly or not working is when it becomes imbalanced. And our body also goes through the same. The moment anything goes imbalanced in our body, that's when there's a signal that it's not a well body, it's not a healthy body. So in fact, we are lucky that it's a signal and it's alarming us that it is not healthy. Please go and see what's wrong. Similarly, today the world is alarming us. The world has become so unimbalanced, and that's why the society is not happy. There is so much crime, there is so much problems, political, economical, environmental, because even you see the weather pattern, sometimes we human beings use the language, oh, it's supposed to be summer, and look how it's snowing now or it's raining now. This is not rainy season. And so the environment is also controlled by our thinking pattern. We're the masters. We're the most intellectual creatures on planet Earth as human beings. Not because we have memories and we have good qualities. There are so many qualities even in animals. But because we have the opportunity to become spiritual. When I go away from spirituality, spirituality is not organized religions. That is the outward way of lifestyle. But spirituality is the internal, my spirit, my mind. How does it behave? How does it work? Is it balanced or not? So spirituality goes there. And I do say that religion cannot do without spirituality. It doesn't work. But spirituality can work without religion. Why? Because if you don't do outward things like rituals, lighting candles, going to church and temples and mosques and synagogues, then it's fine if you don't go maybe. But at least I need to have my spiritual immunity regularly. And that will help me to become religious, a good religious person, but also helps me to be spiritual. So it's that way that, I need my regular vaccine of spirituality every day here in this world to protect myself from all the negativity which is around. If I do not take care of my mental stage, then I would get influenced. I would get influence from out there in the world. where there is so much anger, there is so much resistance, and also, what would I say, aggressiveness, and that will affect my mind and my body. But if I am inwardly immune, then whatever happens around me will not touch me. I will be completely beyond the cause and effect. And when I am free from that, then I can help others outward there to be free from it also. And so relationships, political, economical, or environmental, we need to sort all that out from within, not outwardly. I mean, I would give you an example that in many countries, especially I've seen it in Africa, but even other places, we do not have garbage collectors. Not all, please don't take me wrong, but in many countries, because the government cannot afford that services. And so human beings have to just sort themselves out and organize and clear the garbage which they create every day. So some go and burn it out somewhere far. Some decides to go and throw it near the neighbor's house, about 2 or 3 blocks away. So they don't want the garbage near their house, but they definitely will go and throw it 2 or 3 blocks away, just on the road there. So it's like a heap of garbage, not thinking that maybe my entrance doesn't go bad because it's clean. But any illnesses which is going to come out of that garbage heap is not going to spare me. It's going to affect me also. So it's a very subtle way of thinking. So if I don't want that dirt around me, I don't think anybody wants it anywhere. So I need to sort it out. We are in a plastic world. And so when you burn your garbage, a lot of people also burn the plastic out there, not knowing that that plastic is going to be toxic, and that toxin environment is not going to spare me. And so I need to separate my garbage, paper on one side, vegetable which can be composed in my garden, so I will rejuvenate the environment again and the land, and the plastic on one side. In fact, we would also be very firm that I don't even want to use plastic. I want to respect the environment. So that is called a broad way of thinking, that don't just think I and the others, but we, all of us, we will all be affected, and whether it's toxins, whether it's diseases, pollution, whatever it is. Even if you don't fly in the airplane, but if somebody is flying and the airplanes are going, it's going to affect the whole environment and all of us. And so I need to think on a broader level. So I need to make it broad, but I also need to make it higher. And in that way, I can save myself and save others also. And so that is selfless way of thinking, which helps me to increase my spiritual immune system. But if I think very low or ordinary, then that is selfishness. I'm only trying to take care of myself, and I don't care about others. But remember, we are part of this whole cycle, and so it will come back to me. And so let me not start from there, but I need to create a balance. So one is selfless, and the one is selfless, and the other one is selfish. So I don't want to see things around me with a selfish attitude, but I want to see everything around me with selflessness. That is strong immunity. And so body consciousness is the root cause of all the problems, whatever we see around. But soul consciousness is the solution to all the problems. So the more I become soul conscious and connect with the ultimate, that is God the Supreme, the Soul, Supreme Soul, then I can, I can vaccinate myself every day, little by little, and my immune system grows better and better. So it is said a healthy mind gives me a healthy body. Healthy mind gives me healthy relationships. And healthy mind gives me a healthy environment. And everything becomes balanced. So when we use the word healthy in the society, in the world, it means everything is balanced. So no crime, no competition, no problems, no poverty, but I have to start with my mind. If you go out there and start donating cars and food and medication and clothes, how long is it going to last them? Once you've given a car, petrol is finished, everything is finished, no servicing, they'll just throw the broken car on the road. If you give clothes, they'll wear it and no, mending it or washing it. They'll just wear and throw it away. If you give food, you've eaten the food, it's finished, that's it. Again, hungry. So the limitations will give you limitations. But if you become the embodiment of peace and share that peace with others, that peaceful, calm mind will create such things which will help them to grow. If you become the embodiment of happiness, then you can share that happiness with others around you and you will nourish the souls. If you have love, unconditional love, you are the embodiment of unconditional love, then there is no conditions that I will love you if you love me, or I love you if you give me this. And so there is no limitations. And when it's unlimited, it's balanced and it's vast. And so we have this beautiful picture of a beautiful world which is free from diseases, free from, pain, sorrow, unhappiness, and we are a society which is so balanced. Again, I want to remind you that when I have a balanced mind, I can have a balanced body. I can have balanced relationship, balanced society, and the world. Now, if you can all sit up straight, we're going to practice a little bit and then I'll add more to it. So please sit up straight. And detach yourself from the surrounding, the sound, the people, and your body. Detach yourself from the body, and I, the being, with my mind and intellect, step within and let us look for a quiet, calm space within myself. Just be there. Feel the silence. Feel the coolness within and the calmness. It's so serene and so peaceful and powerful, full of light. I, the being, is filled with that light. I now go upwards with my mind and intellect and situate in the center of my forehead. I am a sparkling star in the center of the forehead. I am a soul. loveful, blissful, knowledgeful, pure, and happy. I just work through this body. I'm detached and loving. I now go upwards with the mind and intellect, above the sun, moon, stars and sky, above this corporeal world, through the subtle world, into an unlimited world, the world of light. I also know that as Brahman, Nirvana, the sweet silent home, Paramdham, the world beyond. The light is reddish goldenish, which is an elemental light, but no elements there. This light is only the Supreme Soul and the Soul's presence. The light of purity, the light of knowledge, the light of peace within me. This world is unlimited, silent, and powerful. I now connect with the Supreme Soul, Baba, and I recharge myself. I fill myself up and I increase my spiritual immune system. I feel the strength and power. The vibrations are so powerful. I am so protected. It's absolutely a very positive world. And I am positive. I'm healthy and happy. At this state of mind, I take it with me into the limited world, the corporeal world. I see the things around me through this body and the eyes, but detached and loving. And I share this state of mind with fellow beings. And this world also becomes very beautiful, balanced, and healthy. Let us act and interact in this world as observers. This is my immune system, which is very powerful. I take this vaccine, spiritual vaccine, every day so that I get better and better. And the world and society gets better and better. Om Shanti. I am a peaceful being. Let us have that constant reminder with the self. So this was just a little reflection, or I would say just a glimpse of meditation. but we can grow into this glimpse of meditation. I earlier mentioned the technique which we are using is Raja Yoga meditation, which helps me to become the king, the sovereign, or the master of my own self. When I'm the master of my own self, I discipline my mind. I make my judgment very precise, and I take care of my personality traits as being positive. That is a healthy lifestyle. I can't say that whatever thoughts come in my mind, I will just let it happen. Or I can't say whether I can judge or not, I'll just judge anyhow. And whatever personality is there, I'll just use it. But I am there to develop it. And this is what helps me in my spiritual immune system. I need to nourish myself. Meditation helps me to nourish the soul. Now, we get very excited about meditation, and sometimes we want to, get the outcome or the result straight away. But remember, everything has stages. And so when I go to school, on the first day, my parents will tell me, you're going to school now. And then you'll go to a bigger school, and a bigger school, and a bigger school. And you'll become a pilot, or you'll become a doctor, or you'll be a scientist, and you'll do this and you'll do that. That is encouragement. That is hope. And that is the steps to growth. But you don't go on the first day to school in kindergarten and say, where's my airplane? I need to fly it. Or where's my patient? I need to operate. Or where's my things of research? I need to research. You have to grow. So from kindergarten, you go to primary. From primary, you go to high school. From there, you go to university, and then your field. Similarly, when we are meditating, we have 4 different levels. One is initiation, initiation, meditation, concentration, and realization. Initiate with the self. Who am I? Start from the self. I'm not this physical body of chemicals and particles, but I am a soul, a spiritual being, working through these chemicals and particles. And then meditation means I need to have union. Self's union with the self and self's union with the Supreme. That is the theory, the method. And then is concentration. Concentration means the natural state of meditation. The connection is there. It's already there. The current is passing and I'm receiving. And realization is an experience, is the state of mind. So if I say sugar is white, you would agree. Sugar is brown, you would agree. Sugar is crystal, you would agree, because you can see it and feel it. But if I say sugar is sweet, you need to experience it, you need to taste it. So similarly, initiation, meditation, concentration is the theory, the method. And then comes realization. I'm not this physical body, but I'm a soul. You would experience that. God is my creator, my mentor, my protector, and you would feel that. You will experience that. I don't belong to this limited world, but I come from the soul world. You will experience that. And in that way, I can have an exercise of the mind, that is yoga, and I can have a healthy body and a healthy mind. May you all be healthy, safe in this world. Thank you. Om Shanti.